Welcome to the 2023 preview fantasy baseball for the Chicago White Sox. I am Dave Eddy here with my dude Connor Thomure. And Connor, we're going to hop into things in 1 second. But first, I want to make sure that everyone that's watching this takes a second, subscribes to the channel. Make sure you turn on the notifications. You'll be able to get an alert every time a new one of these videos comes out. We're doing one a day until we've hit all the teams. Connor and myself are doing the American League teams. Jason and JP, a slightly less handsome version, are going to be doing the National League. So you're going to want to tune into all of them. And then you're going to want to definitely throw a like on here for us so that we know that you're enjoying it. But Connor, if you're ready, I'm ready to go.
Yep, I'm ready.
Perfect, man. All right, we're going to go ahead and start off here with the starting lineup. And it's a pretty good one, man. We're starting off at the top with Tim Anderson. We got newly acquired Andrew Benintendi. One of my favorites, Luis Robert. Eloy Jimenez, Yohan Moncada, Andrew Vaughn, Yasmani Grandal back behind the plate, Gavin Sheets, and Rami Gonzalez. What I do want to ask you about here is kind of which do you trust more, Connor? So do you trust that, Yohan Moncada is going to have a bounce back season, or do you more trust that Eloy Jimenez is going to have a new career high and play more than 122 games this year?
That's a tough one.
It is. That's why I'm
not sure I
asking
can
you.
trust either, but if I had to trust one more, I'm trusting Eloy to set his career high in games. I don't trust Moncada at all going forward. I think Jake Berger is going to end up splitting time with him, and neither of those guys will end up being rosterable because they're splitting time together, maybe in deep leagues. But the third base position for the White Sox is just going to be rough. I mean, they'll be productive, but neither guy will be worth rostering. And Eloy, he could be really good if he, in the 122-game season, he hit 31 home runs, 69 runs, 79 RBI. If he does that, then, I mean, I'd trust him. He'd be really good if he could do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any question in, the talent level of Jimenez. It's just a matter of him staying healthy. And another guy pretty much in the same boat is, Lubab here. He's a guy that before last season, I thought, was a legitimate dark horse candidate to win AL MVP. Now, again, I wasn't like he was, a favorite or anything, but maybe it's a little bit because I like the guy too much, but his skill set is just ridiculous. If this guy stays healthy, I mean, what can't he do? Is Robert a guy that, you would find yourself maybe being willing to reach for in drafts? Or is it kind of like Eloy where you kind of are really hesitant because of that history of just not staying healthy?
He's in the same boat with Eloy for me. I'm not reaching. I'm letting them fall to me. If they fall a little bit farther where I want them, then I'll take them, let them fall towards me. But yeah, I'm not reaching for him because, like you said, the injury, he's an MVP candidate if he's healthy, but it's hard to trust him to be hehealthy along with Eloy. This whole team is hard to trust being healthy. Tim Anderson's another one that was hurt pretty big last year.
So given where they're going to go in drafts, would you rather take a Lubab and Eloy Jimenez or, a breakout Andrew Vaughn?
Give me Andrew Vaughn.
Safety first?
Yep, big safety guy here. With where you're picking Lubab and Eloy at, I want something more safe. I don't want a guy that I'm taking a risk on in those rounds where, I want someone that's actually going to give me production throughout the whole year instead of just for a short amount of time.
Yeah, let's go ahead and switch gears here. Let's move to starting rotation. And, some guys I really like here, man. Dylan Cease at the top. One of my absolute favorites. I love him. Lance Lynn, old and true, man. Lucas Giolito, a mixed bag, but, elite. Mike Clevenger, we'll see, man. Another guy I love, Michael Kopech, man. Like, if Michael Kopech is your, SP5, man, I think you're looking in pretty good shape. But I want to talk about the dude here. I want to talk about Dylan Cease. For me, last season kind of just put to rest any doubts about his ability, to be an ace. So my question for you is, do you think we get another Cy Young caliber season from him, or are we just bound to see some regression due to just an elite, 2022 season?
I think he's going to come through with another Cy Young caliber season, 100%. I'm all on board the Cease train this year.
All aboard the Cease trade. So
All aboard it. Yep.
so no doubt at all for you then, huh?
None at all. Yeah, I want him on my team this
Yeah,
year.
I love him. I love him so much more than I can admit
The,
publicly.
the one thing I think he can improve on is his innings. I think he can definitely, creep that up much higher than what it was this year. And that'll help his Cy Young case too if he could pitch more innings.
Well, and what a lot of that comes down to is honestly just control, right? Like the more guys that you're walking, the more pitches you're throwing. Obviously, you don't
Exactly.
get as deep into games, and I think that comes naturally. You don't usually see a lot of young pitchers racking up innings. That's usually more reserved for your Lance Lynn
Lance
type
Lynn.
guys, But this is a team full of those guys, though, right? Like when you look at Giolito, walks people like crazy. Michael Kopech,
Hmm.
when he's healthy, traditionally walks a lot of guys. Every one of these guys, though, can all go out there and get you a double digit, K game. Like this lineup or this rotation, when healthy, I mean, shit, you could have five aces there. Like, I mean, it's a really nice rotation. I do want to talk to you about Clevenger though. I mean, I'm assuming he's going to be suspended at least for some point in time. Um, does that make him just the uncertainty there? If you're drafting, let's say, a lot of people are going to be drafting in the next few weeks and the next month at least. Is he somebody that is even going to be on your draft board, or are you kind of just staying away from it? And who do you think could be a replacement, like maybe a Ronaldo Lopez?
I am staying away for the time being until more clarity comes out. And if he's suspended, then I guess we'll see how long it's for. But if he is suspended, I don't think he's draft worthy. I think he's a guy you pick up later on, possibly when he returns. As far as Reynaldo Lopez, I could see that being a replacement for the White Sox, but not for my fantasy team. I
Sure.
would rather wait and see if he can actually produce at the start of the season if he does take over instead of just drafting him. There's other guys late in the draft I'd rather take flyers on some young prospects or other pitchers, but I'm not sure I would trust Lopez. I know you could pick him late and drop him, but I'd rather just add him afterwards after I see something.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and round this out and let's hit up that bullpen. And with the bullpen, you'll notice, Liam Hendricks is not on here currently. He's got some health issues that he's going through right now. So, obviously we wish him nothing but the best. However, at this point in
Yeah.
time, I don't know when or if we'll see him in 2023. So we've kind of just left him off here. And we'll talk about, what we know. And it looks like, Kendall Graveman is going to be the guy that, is going to be in that closer's role to start off with. I like their setup guys as well. Aaron Bummer, Joe Kelly, guys that I really do like. I think they have, some really high potential there, in those high leverage situations. We talked about Ronaldo Lopez already, Jacob Diekman, Jose Ruiz, Nick Avila, and then Jimmy Lambert rounding it out there in that bullpen. So let's talk, just about the closer position here. Like I mentioned, the uncertainty with the health of Liam Hendricks. Um, is there anybody in this bullpen that you're confident with drafting? And if so, I guess maybe the more important question is where within the draft would you be willing to take the person?
I'm honestly pretty confident in Kendall Graveman. I know some people might not be. Um, there also might be people confident in Aaron Bummer too, especially in holds leagues. I don't think he'll end up taking over the closer spot from Kendall Graveman. Um, I'm happy with taking Graveman around like the RP20 mark. I think is a pretty safe time for him. It's hard to tell exactly where he'll end up going between here and opening day. Lots of people will be drafting. He could go anywhere. I think he's one of the guys that might go really high, might go really low. It's just going to depend based draft to draft. But yeah, around the RP20 mark, which will be different for each draft. Some drafts they'll be picking closers real early. Some people will be drafting them real late. But yeah, around the 20 mark for closers is happy with me.
And I think it also, I mean, and maybe this is obvious, but just to say it out loud, I think it depends on the format of your league as well, right? If you're in
Hmm.
a saves hold league, Kendall Graveman really doesn't have a ton of downside. If Hendricks doesn't end up playing this year, then you're getting saves from him. If Hendricks does end up coming back at some point in time, taking over the role, you're still going to get holds. You would think on a quality team here. So I think it also depends a little bit about your format, but I wouldn't have too much worry. I mean, Graveman, Bummer, Kelly, and Dakeman are all guys that I would be interested in a saves hold league.
I agree with that.
All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap it up here. If you've enjoyed the conversation here between Connor and myself, there's plenty more to be had. If you go to fantasy6pack.net/plans, you can get our all access pass, have unlimited access to guys like myself and Connor in Discord. Ask us any and all questions that your heart desires, and join in with others talking about all forms of baseball and football and hockey and golf and basketball. I mean, pretty much you name it, we got it. So I appreciate everyone tuning in, and we look forward to catching you on the next one.